Earlier this week, we know, to our sadness and horror, of the terrible attack that happened in Manchester, and I can only say how our thoughts as a community, and myself and my family, our thoughts are with the families of those, many of whom are young, lost their lives in this horrible, horrible, tragic a terrorist attack that happened in Manchester. And our prayers are with those that are getting better, hopefully in hospital, and please God, hopefully we will also be able to stop any possible further incidents. And really we give thanks and praise to our security and the armed forces for what they're doing. So really we're in shock at the moment. Any reactions are out of shock over what has happened. Many of us remember the terrorist attack in 2005. I lived through the Intifada in Israel, where also, as someone who was Israeli living in Israel, there were many, many attacks. And those feelings come back. I wanted to reflect on the Parasha actually, because in this week's Parasha, Bamidbar, we look at the Jewish encampment in the desert. We've left now, in a sense, the stories of Exodus, the stories of Sinai. And we're about to move away from Mount Sinai. And we move away encamped in all our difference around the ark. Each tribe has different characteristics. Each tribe has a different flag. Each tribe is different, and yet they all make up that patchwork of a people who are close to God, who have received law from God, and who move on together as a people of God. And maybe that's also a model for society, that we also are a patchwork of difference, different religions, different faiths, different peoples. And what's really critical is that we turn, in a sense, strangeness into neighbourliness, that we reach across the divide between the tribe, between the people, that we find out that we're curious, that we continue to build relationships. And I'm proud that we've done that as a community. I was able to ring and have a discussion with one of the leaders of the mosque community, one of the trustees, and talk with them and hear how terribly upset they are, how condemning they are, and how sad they are and shocked they are over what has happened. And it only was because of relationships that exist. So the model of the Midbar, which by the way, Midbar, Medaber means to talk, the model of a group of peoples, of cultures, talking, turning strangeness into, in a sense of neighbourliness. And I really will end by a term I heard on a thought for the day earlier this week, by a minister, an Anglican minister, who was on the thought for the day on Tuesday, who in the aftermath of the attack talked about the concept of defiant kindness. That sometimes our anger will be great, the anger of what has happened, the anger against jihadi terrorism and what it is doing and wreaking on our people, on society over the world. But we should be defiant, and through being kind, through being neighbourly, through being curious, through wanting to build connections, relationships with people around us, with different cultures, I think that is an act of defiance in the face of something so difficult. So I wish you a good week. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, and that we really should be able to stand up to this, to protect ourselves, to defend ourselves from these threats in the ways that we need to, and at the same time build and continue to build a strong civil society.